What's up, guys? Let's try this again. It's been a while since I've done these kind of lessons, so I gotta get used to it again. So today we're gonna cover Help on the Way into Slipknot, the transition. This is around 3 minutes and 30 seconds in, where you'll hear these licks on the studio tracks. You start hearing the G minor arpeggio. If you want to hear the full thing, what it sounds like up to speed, I posted a video of that just down below. It might end up being above, but you'll see it on this page or in this group. So we have, we're just gonna, actually how many, I've divided this into 4 parts, and I have tablature, which should be down in the description by now, because as soon as I finish this video, I'm gonna add it. So the very first part, part 1, we want to get these G minor arpeggios, where we go root, minor 3rd, 5th, and then we end on the 4th actually. So the shape I like is pinky on the 10th fret of the A string, middle finger on the 8th fret of the D string, and index finger on the 7th fret of the G string. So you have the chord kind of arpeggio sounding like this. So you go. So you do that, 10, 8, 7, and then 10 on the D string. Twice. Or you could, here's the alternate, and you could play this arpeggio another way. You could do the G like, if it's easier for you. So we have 2 main arpeggios in this first part. It's G minor and D minor. And I'll show you both of those. So I like to do that shape I just showed you. Some people might like 10 on the A string, 13 on the A string, 12 on the D string, and then 10 on the D string. Same melody. At one point I knew which one Jerry used. It might be the first one, but Matt will watch this, he'll know. But so let's just stick to one. You can use either of those, and you'll see I wrote them both down in the tab when the tab's available. So we have the beginning of this transition. That 10, 8, 7, 10 on the D, twice. And then we do the whole thing up a string. We move everything up a string towards us. And that's where D minor comes in. Those other arpeggios were G minor, now we have D minor. So we have G minor, D minor. Same fingers and same notes. But what I mean by that is same pattern. So remember we did 10, 8, 7 from the A to the D to the G, and then landed on 10 on the D. We're going to do that, push that down. So now, 10th fret of the lowest string with our pinky. Our middle finger is going to be hitting, let's see here, the 8th fret and on the A string. And our index finger is going to be hitting 7 on the D string. And the last note we stop on here is a 10 again, but this time on the A string. So we have, that's the first part. And then it goes back up to that G minor one again. So let's see, is this chat working? Okay, so far we have this. Back to G minor. And then we have this little diminished kind of. Sorry, it's been a while, guys, so if these videos aren't as smooth as they used to be, I'll get back into that headspace very soon. Next we have this little diminished kind of run. All minor thirds stacked against each other. What does that mean? Minor thirds. So if we just took a random note, G, go up a minor third, 3 frets. If you just keep going up 3 frets or minor thirds, you get the diminished sound. So that's kind of what we're doing here. And so we slide into 12 on the D string with our index finger. Then hit 15 on the D string with our pinky. 13 on the G string with our middle. And then 12 on the B string with our index. So we have... So you can see now that we're going from the lowest fret in this part of the riff is 12, and the highest fret is 15. So look at how the fingers fit perfectly. 12 could be index, 13 could be middle, 14 could be ring, 15. So we're just gonna imply which fingers go where by the fact that there's perfect amount of frets for 4 fingers. So once again. And then he kind of does a sequence with it. You'll see 15, 12 on the B, 13 on the G, 15 on the D. So we have. And here's where the sequence comes in. Instead of starting on that 15, we're going to start on the second note that was after that, the 12. So the first one is 15, 12 on the B, 13 on the G, 15 on the D. It's the next part of the sequence. 12 on the B, 13 on the G, 15 and 12 on the D. So, and we're almost there. So we have, so far we have. So that one again, that second part of the sequence, 12, 13, 12 on B, 13 on G, 15, 12 on D. And then this last part, we're going to start on 13 on the G. And like I said, I'm not using the fingers now because we can imply them since it's a perfect amount of frets for the 4 fingers we have that we can use. So this last part, 13 on the G, 15, 12 on the D, and then 14 on the A. So all together, this whole lick. And we slide into that first 15, so. Whoops, that one got a little bit wrong. Sometimes it's hard to play slow, believe it or not, but we have. So we had. You know, that kind of thing. And we can talk more about the diminished stuff when we go over the chords that are being used here throughout this section. Now we have this. So, we're going to have an E minor arpeggio starting at the 14th fret of the D string and going up all 12 frets, barred with the index finger. Slide into that real quick. Then we're going to reach and get our pinky up to the 17th fret, kind of slide into that. And then we're going to walk down kind of like minor 7 shape. So we have this E minor. Whoops. Start on 17 with our pinky on the high E, then 14, then 15 on the B, and then 16 on the G. And remember this pattern because it's going to be used again just a couple frets away. So we have starting from that the last part of that, root, third, minor third, root, minor third, fifth, seventh. So we're going 7th, 5th, 3rd, root. That quick, almost raking that E. So remember, 17, 14 on the E string, high E, 15 on the B, 16 on the G. And the fingers, same thing with the fingers. You'll see which ones go where. So we have, then we're going to do the next part of that is 17, 14, 17, 14 on the B string, 14 on the G string, and 16 on the D string. So, right here. So once you memorize those two together, it just moves down. And you'll see. So we have to go over that again. So after the 17, 14, 14, 16. It goes right to the next one if I recall correctly. So yeah, now we're just moving it down. So instead of B minor 7, F sharp minor 7, we have A minor 7 and E minor 7. So these same shapes, just get really used to these minor arpeggios. 17, 14, 15, 16, 17, 14, 14, 16. Then we just move it down 2 frets. 15, 12 on the E, 13 on the B, 14 on the G. Then we go, the next part of the lick is 15 on the 15, 12 on the B, 12 on the G, and then 14 on the D. So we have, so the whole thing. And sometimes I've noticed in these are all series of 4s. So my dog's scratching at the door. These are all series of 4s. I'm gonna let her in. Hey, Sophie. That's my dog. You wanna say hi? You gotta say hi if you disrupt us. There she is. Okay, back to it. But you can hear dynamically, like, these groups of 4s. Sometimes you can hear Jerry play the 4th note not as loud or almost non-existent sometimes. So like, you know what I mean? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th note can be chopped a little bit and not as loud. It kind of actually adds to the effect. Cool. So let's see. So that's part 1 was, there's this 4 parts to this transition. Part 1 was and then part 2 is a diminish. And then this was part 3 you just learned. Then after that, we have, it's kind of part 4. This one's a little trickier. 14, 11 on the G string, 12 on the D string, 14 on the A string. B minor 7 arpeggio. And then A, we're going to move that same thing down 2 frets, just like we were doing in the 3rd part. So 12, 9 on the G, 10 on the D, 12 on the A. It's the whole thing. And the last one is we had this shape, 12-9, excuse me, 12-9 on the G, 10 on the D, 12 on the A. Now let's take that same shape and push it all up a string. So we have, so now we have 12-9 on the D, 10 on the A, 12 on the E, and then we resolve. This is the end to A. So we have, and that's the end of the transition. I don't know it yet, but sometimes I mess around with the so altogether we have so I gotta read this still. It's been a while since I played it. Then it goes to A. So if you want to leave, you can leave. Okay, now to talk about some theory stuff. Let's see here. This is what you'll be able to download. Is it backwards? I already have this uploaded so you can see the tabs. So to analyze this, let me see if I can switch the camera. Can I do that? That's not what I want. Okay, yeah, I can. So look at this. The main thing I want to talk about was, well, you guys can kind of figure out the music theory on your own. It's really good to be able to like take, these are all arpeggios. I've written out the groups of fours and what chord they're arpeggiating. So it's good to be able to say, okay, A minor 7, root of the chord, third of the chord, minor third, perfect fifth, seventh of the chord. And this is where it gets funky. This diminished part that we just ran through, what chord would we put that over? Well, you could put it over D diminished 7, F diminished 7, A flat / G sharp, because they're enharmonically equivalents, which means they're the same note, A flat and G sharp, diminished 7, or B diminished 7. Because when we're stacking, let's see, when we're stacking all these thirds, we run into only 4 chords that come out of those. So if you take the chord D, let's see, D diminished. Okay, so let's get that going. So what does a D diminished have? I'm doing 12 on the D, 13 on the G, 12 on the B, 13 on the E, high E. That's a D diminished. So we have D, we have A flat, we have B, F. So if you think about it, our chords I just mentioned were D diminished 7, F diminished 7, A flat / G sharp diminished 7, B diminished 7. Look, they're all in this one chord. D diminished 7 has all those notes. So what does that mean? You can go up or down 3 frets, which is a minor third, and they're all the same chord technically. So D diminished 7. Let's bring it up 3 frets for F diminished 7. Same chord, because look at the notes here. F. So let's analyze that. So we have an F, we have a B, we have a D, and we have an A flat, G sharp. So all these chords consist of the same notes. This is like Django Reinhardt stuff. So we have D diminished 7, F diminished 7, same notes, different order. And now let's do B diminished 7th. So B diminished 7 is B. So B, let's see here. B, we have a D on top. G sharp. And F. I'm sorry, that took me a minute. But so that's something cool about the diminished. That's about it for today. I just gave my buddy Levi, I believe his name is, a Skype lesson. So anyone who's interested in Skype lessons at negotiable price, and what I do is 30, 45 minutes, an hour, then I print out resources, custom resources for you on software and get you into the whole thing and what you need to be practicing. Or if you want to donate, at what my PayPal link is on here, and if you donate just for the hell of it, you can give me recommendations on what to work on next and what not. And I have a new secret group that I created a while ago, where all the donators get added to that group. So hopefully this made sense. I'm going to upload the tabs right now. So print out the tabs and look at the tabs and then follow along to this lesson. And that's your best bet. Much love. I'll be on. I'm not going to fade away this time. No fade away. So I'll be around and we're going to be getting work done. Take care, fam.